Hi all and welcome. So let's have a look at the equinox new moon for the air signs. The air signs are Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. So I'm going to do a spread for each one and go through where the astrology is sitting for you air signs. So this equinox is quite an interesting one, and I have made a video, the first video I put out. It really covers a lot of the astrology, and also did a general spread for the energies, but this is of a more personal spread. So the reason I'm doing one spread for and looking into each of the zodiac is because this new moon is quite an important new moon. It's falling right on the equinox. So it's been quite a long time since we've had a new moon equinox, right at 0 degrees. So effectively we have the cycle of the new moon, which lasts for a month. We have the cycle of the equinox, Aries equinox, which of course is autumn for here in New Zealand, and spring for the Northern Hemisphere. So that lasts for 3 months. But also the equinox at 0 degrees Aries was traditionally the astrological new year, which used to be our old calendar. So I've always seen 0 degrees Aries as the beginning of the new year. So, effectively we're looking at the energies for the whole year. Of course, as we move through to the solstice, the winter or summer solstice, for the Northern Hemisphere in June, we're setting a new energy. But because this is, like I said, the new year, we're going to look at the whole year and see, especially what's going on for the next 3 months. So if you're wanting to know more about this astrology and this new moon equinox, I did make a video. It's just titled The New Moon Equinox Astrological New Year, and that goes into a lot more depth about the astrology, the aspects and the midpoints that are going on. So looking at how this is going to affect the air signs, we're going to start with Gemini, of course, the first air sign. And so Gemini, you have the sun moon, because first we'll look at where the equinox sits, and of course with the sun moon we also have Mercury and Jupiter sitting there in Aries. So that's all sitting in your 11th sector, Gemini. So that's a really good time for connecting up with friendships. It's a really good time for teamwork. It's a good time for planning and organizing things, and especially around others and around those that you work well with. So with Mercury, Jupiter, you're going to be thinking about what you can do possibly within community or groups. There'll be a lot of expansion through these areas. And with the sun moon there, that's also the 11th area is also an area where we're wanting to express more freedom and flow, especially within our personal friendships, connections. And I see that as also a place where we have teamwork and work colleagues. You also have Mars, which is important to look at because Mars is going from Gemini. It was in Gemini for a very long time, unusually long time because of the retrograde last year. And it's moving into Cancer on the 25th of this month. So as it moves into Cancer, it's moving into your second sector, Gemini. This is your sector of finances. It's your sector of where your focus is going to be on wealth, on your assets, on what you are wanting to achieve for yourself as far as security. But it's also relative to your values. So with Mars being the active energy, the fighting energy, where you're determined, where you're focused on a certain area and you're wanting to put a lot of energy into this particular area. Again, there could be a really strong focus on the financial situations and also on your security, property and so forth. So let's have a look what the universe wants Gemini to know about for this equinox, new moon, astrological new year. Okay, it's a Gemini card. Okay, Gemini, you have changes coming up here. Excuse me. Looks like you've been feeling a bit exhausted, not as much exhausted, but tired of situations. You're feeling a little bit depleted. Energies are definitely not as good as they could be. And, this is just a feeling like you're not getting ahead. And also, it could be a physical feeling, but also it could be a bit of an emotional feeling of feeling like, financially things are really tight and difficult. So interesting, because we've got big changes coming up here for Gemini, where things are going to come into a much better balance for the future. Now you have new situations going on, especially around your either your career or your your personal interests, where you may wanting to be learning or picking up particular subjects. So I can see either doing some sort of training, learning, studies, or it may just be something of a type of hobby. But it sort of looks to me like this is sort of more geared towards what you can do for your career. And it looks really good, because it feels like you really are wanting to extend yourself at this point in time. So it's going to be a year of learning for Gemini, as you're really coming into a clearer picture of what position you're wanting to be in, or where you see yourself situated. There's a lot of people in this spread, so I feel there's going to be a lot to do with connections and people and opportunities coming through others. So there's some very special connections around you that are going to be, and I feel a female energy especially, presenting positions of work. This can come through male energy, of course, as well. But it feels like to be able to move forward in a more practical way, and to feel like you can financially make things work for yourself, where you're not in this situation of struggle, if that's how it's been. And of course, for some it may not be that, it might be health issues, or it may be, just feeling exhausted and tired of what you've been doing. But there does seem to be a real opportunity here coming through others. So, again, this is Mars sitting there, in the 2nd and the 11th, the focus being on the 11th, like I said, with teams, with people, with friendships, and connections and acquaintances. So I wouldn't say necessarily, really strong soul family connections around you. This is more acquaintances and people you've been working around. So an opportunity here for Gemini to come into more security. Now, this security could be for business, for work, or it could even be for love. It seems to be about the right situations and decisions about joining with the right people. And this also, could be for like a business partnership situation. But there will be some decisions to make, and, you need to think about this for a bit, because it looks like for some Geminis, it could be a bigger move, a change. Other Geminis, you may find you're really settling into where you are, and you're really getting, some really good contracts, or opportunities to be signing documents that are going to, again, secure your future. Now, it's like you might have had an idea of what you wanted to do. There could be some possible changes of plans, or if you haven't really been clear and you just sort of, about what you wanted to do. I think Geminis have a pretty clear picture of where they can see themselves. But, in this situation, you might have had a loose plan, or you may not have been able to really see where you're going at this point in time. But, what it looks like is like plans could change into the direction that's going to be really balanced and right for you. Otherwise, the new energies are coming in that you really weren't expecting, and opportunities that you really weren't expecting. So it looks very productive. Don't, with Gemini, you can sometimes worry too much, or think too much, really, is more of the situation, or overthink situations through, especially if you have that little fire in your chart, you're really just wanting to get on with things. There's a sense of wanting to control what's going on and trying to understand it, but, don't overthink it. Don't, know that you can take the action, and then let that fire, that Mars is in a really good placement for you at the moment. Just really, put you into a positive space of this is what I'm doing. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to, try to nut it all out at the moment. It will be hard because, of course, it'll be very strongly on your mind. But just feel really positive about it. And if there's any past situations where you felt disappointed from you had disappointing experiences, just try to release that at this point in time, because you're moving into, like I said, much better situations. It's quite a shift of energy going on here for Gemini. As Gemini comes into this balance where, it's like you're going to be able to balance your more sensitive qualities, your more intuitive qualities with your, with your sharp mind and your buoyant ideas. So when you have a strong Mercury, and Gemini's ruled by Mercury, it makes it hard to sometimes connect into the intuitive side of it or to trust it, but it feels like that's coming into a better balance. If you've been, like I said, stuck in worries and concerns, I really feel like that's going to start to clear as you see, that this is absolutely right for you. As well as anything in the past, you'll start to see and understand what that was more about. But for being able to connect in at an intuitive level, which is really something that Gemini looks like it's going through. You've got the High Priestess here, connected with the intuition card as well. So you get a double dose of this, and very good news around that. So your instincts are strong and sharp. Where it can be confusing or difficult is when you start to use your lower mind and thinking about it. So, really separate the lower mind, the higher mind, and understand the higher mind is what you're really wanting to listen to during this time, because it's, this is a lot about trust. It's a lot about, faith in yourself, but also, stepping into more of your own personal power as well. Any circumstances where you feel have been disempowering, so to speak, whether that's been in work or in one personal way, this is going to come into a much better balance. And like I said, I think addressing the emotions is important, and then digesting the emotions, and then, communicating those emotions in a very positive way will be really helpful for Gemini, just to ease the mind and to stop overthinking. Now, I wouldn't say that's always Gemini, you're always doing this overthinking, but because you're in this sort of high vibrational energy, your intuition's wanting to come in stronger, and also it's throwing unexpected things at you, but things where you have to trust, you have to believe, you have to trust in that your higher knowing is sort of wanting you to gravitate towards that. And so just go within that and see how your energy feels about these situations that are being presented to you. So it looks really good for Gemini. Not too much you can talk about when you've got all these different people here. And I keep getting couples, male and female energies coming in and helping to come into balance, or coming in to create balance. So in other words, it could be relative to personal relationships where, if you feel like things haven't been quite in balance, if you feel like you've been doing more than what you need to do, or you haven't been able to be in your feminine and he's, or you're feeling he's needing to step up into his masculine. This is just a shift of energy that you're going through. And, I really feel like communication is the big key to this, but I also feel there will be some actions that you take to achieve your goals. And if you felt like you've had situations or people in the way, you're not going to let anything stop you, because you have gone through a time of healing. You've gone through a time where you felt a bit down, really, and things have been a bit hard. And so as things start to shift into better balance, you're going to really take the bull by the horn, so to speak, especially those with Mercury and Taurus. So I hope you enjoyed that, Gemini. And now we're going to move to Libra. So Libra, let's have a look what you've got going on here. So Libra, you have the Sun, Moon, and Mercury and Jupiter. So this new moon sitting in your 7th sector. So Libra, this new energy that's coming in for the 21st of March is going to be all about relationships for you. It's going to be all to do with your partnerships and what you can do with partnerships. Could be changes going on with partnerships, positive changes. And also, you could even be looking at, business situations with others. It looks like you're thinking about productive energy with partners. So when I'm saying partners, it could be business partners, but in relationships, a great time to be bringing in a relationship if you are looking for one that would be productive or that you can really create together. But otherwise, it feels like with the existing relationships that you will be able to, plan and organise things that are going to be productive for the future. So you'll be thinking about either your assets or your meaning, how you can, what you're wanting to create. And when I say assets, this is more about not having the asset, but more about the creation, what you can create together. So very productive time. Signing of legal documents is likely, really good communication, litigation. That's all though connecting up to partners again. So your partners could be going through something really productive for you guys as well, or you'll be doing it together. Now, another great thing for career is Mars in the 10th house, and so your focus is going to be on what your ultimate goals are. So what you're wanting to achieve for yourself. So not so much on the financial, like the second sector where we, this is about our assets and what we have. This is more about the position of work, the ideal situation, the retirement plan. It's the bigger picture. It's the mountain you've got to climb, but it's, when Mars is in there in the 10th sector, it's like, you could, could have a really good situation going on with your career. Could be a time for promotions or just a really busy time for your career, but you will recognise what you've achieved at that time and you will be focused on achieving more. So let's have a look, Libra, what the universe wants you to know about for this new cycle. Now, because this is a new moon equinox, which doesn't normally happen, you don't normally get the new moon right on the equinox. We're looking at, and I'd normally do two readings, like one for the new moon and one for the equinox, but there's no need with this. It's happening all the same day, so the 21st of March. So we're looking at a month cycle. We're looking at 3-month cycle, but we're also actually covering the year cycle because the new moon, the equinox at 0 degrees Aries, is the astrological new year. It's a new year. It's the old calendar we used to use, and it was considered the new year. So I've always felt like New Year's Day was like we still had 3 months to go before we really reached the true new year and the true new cycles. So what does the universe want Libra to know about for this new year, 3-month, 1-month cycle? And I feel it's what's coming up, strongly is the 3-month cycle, but may carry on, throughout the year. But because it's setting the energy for the year, but within 3 months we will have the winter solstice, and that will set another energy for the next 3 months. So like another layer on top of the cycle. Okay, Libra. Okay, Libra, well, again, and I say again because it just, for Gemini, I picked up training and learning, and I've got the same card here for Libra as well. And it's like Libra's doing a lot of growth, a lot of learning, and, but I feel like looking at this, it's sort of where it's not such practical learning, it's more of a spiritual growth coming up for Libra. There is, of course, so, very good opportunities for career and advancement and stepping into new learning. And you have really good news coming up, Libra, over the next couple of months. Like I said, this reading's sort of effective from the 21st, and I feel like in April, or even at the end of March, you may receive this good news, and it's something you've been really working towards or wanting. So something here that Libra have been working at, and it feels like it could take a long time. It's going to come in, and it's really exciting. So great news from the universe for Libra. It means that you can move in a direction that is a bit more unfamiliar. It's like an extension of what you've been wanting to do. You may be wanting to travel, but any area that you're wanting to achieve, or you want to get good results, and it looks like, you know, this news is coming in, and it's coming in fast. I've got the two, what I'd call like victory cards together, or the, you know, good news with the victory card, and, you know, but this is also taking you into new territory. Any legal issues Libra's been going through now, you know, I'm not sure all Libras aren't going through legal issues, but some looks like they've got something here that they're trying to sort out legally, and it's been really stressful or frustrating. You know, otherwise it could be that you're just feeling that things are completely out of balance, and, you know, and a little bit chaotic, and, you know, you're just wanting to bring things back into better balance, you know, great Libra word. And, you know, you've got the Justice card here, which is a Libra card. But, you know, what this is showing is good news. This means that you can move forward. It means you can leave any situations that you've been trying to sort out that are sitting more, you know, in a more relative to the past. You can sort them out and clear it so that you can move forward. So again, you know, again with legal stuff and this good news, you know, you're in a bit of a winning space, Libra. Now, I think Libra's also going to go through a space of wanting to, and this comes into the extending your ideas, your skills, training, learning, new hobbies maybe. You know, but it's like you're wanting to develop new skills. You're wanting to, when I say develop new skills, there's something inside that you're wanting to do that you really feel passionate about and have, you know, have a talent for, but you've never really got to explore it to this level. And, you know, with these changes going on for Libra, you're going to get the opportunity to do that. So, you know, you're in a good space, Libra. You're also, you know, whether you've had these worries, it's like you're wanting to walk away from a situation where it's just like it's not sitting with your values. And this is where I think we're going with when I saw this Justice and the Tower together, where, you know, you're feeling like you're wanting to take the right actions, but you don't know quite what they are. So you're feeling a little bit like you just want to leave situations, like I said, not in alignment with you. You know, what you're wanting things to be more meaningful and to experience more deeper fulfillment. And I'm talking about what you do on a day-to-day basis. I'm talking about either career or where you help others. You're wanting to do it your way as well. And so I think you're really coming to this understanding of how you're going to be able to do this. So it's like you've got all the tools here. You've got the right attitude, you've got the right understanding, you're recognizing what's not resonating, you know, you've got all this sort of good news helping you along, but, you know, you do have a little bit of a challenge here. And when I said Libras are going through a bit of a spiritual lesson, it's about clearing away fears, about moving forward. So for some Libras, you may sort of get so far, everything's going in your favour, and then it's like you can finally move forward and have more freedom. You can either, you know, travel or get on with something that you're really wanting to do. Like I said, that's connected to this feeling of your soul purpose. There's a little bit of fear around that, sort of stopping it, and this is where Libra sometimes want to sit on the fence and not move forward. The whole thing is you're going to be moving forward regardless. And so it's like, as they say, feel the fear and do it anyway, because that is what Libra are going to be processing as they go through these changes. Excuse me. So, you know, this is relative to the Devil card, and it's, you know, it's sitting there, and it is a problem, but it doesn't need to be a problem. It's really just our perception. It's really just like any fear. It's not a reality. It's like if someone was to express their fears to another, they would look at them and think, well, that's silly having that fear when that's not going to be a reality. So, you know, sometimes it's good to go into the fear a little bit and just to look at it and to see what it is, and then to you know, just allow ourselves to trust a bit more and to process, or to, you know, to work through it, because, you know, it's like fear of heights. If you climb, you know, a really steep, scary hilltop, you know, or cliff face, you know, once you got to the top, you're not going to be scared of heights anymore. So, you know, this is just about, like I said, feel the fear and do it anyway. And I can see you will be anyway, but it feels a little bit scary. It feels a little bit like unknown territory. You may be concerned about finances or security, especially that it could disrupt your plans. But again, I feel like that's not going to be a reality. There may be really good reason for feeling this, but, you know, what I'm seeing here is that Libras are stepping up to their higher understanding. See, Libra is, you're ruled by Venus, beautiful love energy, makes you, generally very attractive and creative and very warm and friendly nature. But your esoteric ruler, and not many people understand the esoteric rulers, but the esoteric ruler is Aquarius, and which really made sense to me when I found this out, because I found Libras to be more Aquarian than some Aquarians as far as unique and a bit rad, and they like to, sometimes they swing from one thing to the other. They go through different phases, as we all do. But with Libra, that Uranus likes freedom. It likes change. Your spiritual energy is all about intuition and change and sudden understanding, and your intuition is extremely strong. So I feel like just keep trusting your intuition, just keep trusting the universe that's bringing you wonderful things, and look back when you feel a bit concerned about situations for the future. Just look back at all your successes, and you've got one coming up, in the near future that you can call on, and all the others, of course, everywhere where you have made the changes that you've needed to make. So it's like you're wanting to move forward, but you might be a bit scared. And it might be because, with Libra in the younger years, they can do sort of rad changes and, be really Aquarian-like, where Aquarians can be really sticklers and habitual and routine, where, Libra likes that, but they like to create. They like to use that Venus energy, and especially with Uranus, because it's about, sudden creative ideas. So trust in your ingenuity, trust in your ideas. Libras are about to receive a download, so to speak, of insight into what they're meant to be doing and how they can do it. So, you wouldn't be given that information, if you were going to just mess it up, so to speak. So the other thing here that I haven't mentioned yet is, what is that? That is to do with, spent time, and I think this is, what I can see you doing, is spending time. This is going to resonate, with yourself, family, siblings, people that know you, people that understand you, people that connect to you at this intuitive level. They make you feel good and safe and secure. And when I say that, it's a sense of grounding. So when you're in the company of those that you feel very close to, that know you well, you feel a little bit like you can relax a bit more and be who you truly are. And I'm not saying that Libras aren't like that, but just feels like at that time, they have a bit more insight into you and can also help you process, any concerns that you have, again, for moving forward. I also feel that, it's going to be a great time for these special connections, for, like I said, siblings, brothers, sisters. But again, this is, people that know you. That doesn't have to be your blood. And like I said, there's a really good sense of security. And also I think there could be some activity or changes or things going on around family, especially around the female principle, where, you're helping them or get involved with them to do with, changes of security as well. So it could be like moving or, like relocating, something like that. So it looks really good for Libra, and I hope you enjoyed that, Libra. So the last air sign we're going to look at is Aquarius. And Aquarius, let's have a look at your astrology for this new moon. And so I'll just repeat for those just, watching Aquarius, that this is, sorry, my cat was scratching the window and the sound is a bit much. I'm not going to let her in. So yeah, for Aquarius, so what, this new moon, this is a new moon equinox happening on the same day. So what that means is that what I'm talking about with the energy, the astrology, the tarot, it's actually covering this month, but it's also covering the next 3 months, being the equinox. And the equinox, where the sun is at Aries, our autumn equinox here in New Zealand, and our spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, is actually the astrological new year. So it is actually covering the energies for the new year. Though we will have the spring solstice, the winter solstice here in New Zealand and the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere, in June, and that will do another layer. But this is actually because we're at 0 degrees Aries, and this is the true new year. Now let's look at the whole year with this. So Aquarius. So you have the sun, moon, this new moon point, and Mercury and Jupiter sitting in your third sector. So, the third sector is all about your communication and the way you communicate. So it's a great time for you to be, really expressing yourself, your true self. And it's really important for Aquarius to feel, relaxed at home, in their own personal environments. They can really express their more quirky, fun side. And they can be quite serious, in their outer environment. But with it being there, that's, like I said, good for communication. It's also really good for sharing with family. It's relative to your siblings. It's also relative to soul connection. So this is a really important time to do with your very close connections, family and soul connections. You have this lovely Venus node conjunction, which we've got going on, which is very productive and great for sharing with others again, or forming relationships, or just being able to express love and creativity. Now this is sitting here in your fourth sector, so this is in your sector of home. So this could be a time when you're wanting to really make your environment more beautiful. You've got lots of ideas around home, property. Aquarius has had Uranus sitting there in the fourth sector for quite a while. The whole time Uranus has been in Taurus, and it's only halfway there. And that sort of could have felt like things a bit restless within the home. But I feel with Venus and the Venus and the node conjuncting at this time, this is when you can really bring more people into the home. You can start to really beautify the home. You can, or you might even just feel really settled in your home situation. Any relationships established during this time would be really solid for your future with it in your fourth sector as well. So Mars is sitting in your sixth sector, and that's really good for your work. Mars is the sixth sector is your place of work and your daily routine, and Mars is the planet of your work, in quite a physical way, but it's where you want to take action, where you find you have energy, and so you are going to have a busy year, but it's going to be very productive, and you're going to be really actively focused on your career, and it could be a great time for even making career changes, or stepping up into more activity and more organisational skills. Even creating your own business would be a good time with Mars there. So let's have a look what the universe wants Aquarius to know about for this new moon cycle, equinox cycle. So yeah, straight away I've got activity around the home situation. Oh, this looks really good. There's really good love situations like I described, and I feel real healing situations coming in for those that are needing to expand their hearts. So those that have felt that have had difficulties within relationships, within their own personal relationships. It could be relative to family, it could be relative to children, or it could be your own love relationship, marriage, etc. It feels like you're firstly coming to a place of forgiveness and understanding. You're coming to a place of clearing any past disputes or difficulties in any of those areas that I just discussed, with any of those types of people I've just discussed. I feel like you're going to start to see, Aquarians are very insightful, they're very intuitive, and, they're very loving people. They've got very strong minds, and they can be very fixed, they're a fixed sign. And so I won't say stubborn, like a Taurus, but fixed, as in sometimes it's hard for them to see others' point of view, or they feel misunderstood by others. So if that's sort of been going on where, things have been a bit disharmonious, it feels like, and Aquarius can live with that sometimes, they sort of, they can deal with disruptive energy. They don't necessarily want that, especially for the lot of Pisces, but, they can handle it, probably more so than Pisces or the more sensitive signs. But, they don't want it, of course. So, and I feel like they are very protected. They can be quite poker faced. You might not know what's going on with them. They can feel hurt, or they certainly wouldn't tell you about it like a Pisces would. So I feel like this is actually helping to clear up any areas where they have felt, that have been disharmonious. And it's a new energy, a new sort of expansion is coming in that's going to help you to understand the other side to situations, also help you to communicate where you may have felt hurt or upset, but also just clearing that away. Aquarians are very good at moving on and getting on with what they need to, and they may not even realize that they're still carrying something there, but this is more about addressing your emotions, Aquarius. So, they are detached at times. If they feel emotionally hurt, they'll just detach, and then you'd think you hadn't offended them, and you actually have quite deeply, because depending on their ascendant, their moon sign, all those other qualities, because this is just their nature and the things that they prefer, and also how they express themselves, as far as being an Aquarian. So huge heart expansion, which is just lovely. So any Aquarians that sort of gone through difficult relationships on their own at the moment, looking for a relationship, you're going to find something really stable and positive and uplifting and expanding your heart center, in the future, this year. And I would say over the next sort of 2 to 3 months. You're also coming to a deeper understanding of who you are and what you're wanting, and when it comes to looking to partner, you know what you want. So this, could have been part of an issue to do with any existing relationships. If you're sort of feeling this isn't, you may feel like your values have been at different odds. You're not wanting the same things, or now you could actually come to an understanding that this just could be how you're perceiving it, and that this partner is actually wanting the same things as you, and that this is just a time of talking about where we felt hurt or we felt upset, and how we have reacted, or how we have been withholding that energy of love from each other. But otherwise, it's going to be about bringing in the right, if you feel like you can't get on board, you don't have the same values, and you're really just too at odds with each other, this is a time when you are going to be bringing in and attracting the right connections that you can truly share with, because it looks like you're really clear about what you want. And, it's like I said, it's been a healing time for Aquarius, because I feel there's sort of a change of values and attitude as they're opening up and clearing and opening up their heart. And what I'm saying there is, I'm not saying like the values could be really well set anyway, but it's like there's more empathy, there's more understanding, there's more even commitment to be with the right person there. So there's a new cycle coming in for Aquarius. I feel this is all to do with work. It's you're utilizing a lot more of your skills, and this is like very active time over the next couple of months for Aquarius. And again, the Mars going on there in that 6th sector. Looks like if you're wanting to set up your own business, this would be a great time. If you're wanting to step into a position where you're utilizing more skills, this is the perfect time. Either way, you're coming to a new cycle for your career and for your work, and for where you're exerting your energy. So there are really good situations. Some will be presented to you, some will be offered to you. Same sort of thing. Sort of, because I feel offer could come from completely out of, could come from left field, where something could be presented in your working situation, or you could come up with your own ideas for business, and it's just like, right, I'm ready, I'm going to get on with it. Yeah, again, moving with work situation, sort of moving forward, you need to make a decision about your career to move in the direction that you're really wanting to make. So I feel like the decision's a no-brainer, really. It's such a great opportunity, but you just got to sort of, I guess, consider, how you're going to do this, and other things that go on in your own environment, and with when you take this on board. So again, more cards that are actually really again verifying or amplifying this energy of business and productivity. So again, fated situations for your future. So this can also be investing money into your property more, buying property. It's sort of like long-term investments that you could be looking at. As when I say business, it's more like your investment in yourself. Some Aquarians might think, okay, it's time to go contracting, that would be perfect for that as well. But either way, it's like something really fated for you to be stepping into. That's, could have been and when I say fated, it's like it comes in. It's good karma, and it comes in a way that you're just meant to have this. And you may have thought, okay, I'd love to be able to have this, and find that this can just come in through fate and changes that are happening in this particular time. It's all relative to timing, and it's like when you step into whatever investments or changes or business that you're looking at, this is, it's perfect timing. Wouldn't have been perfect 6 months ago. This is the timing for you to move forward into what's really connected to you, for your heart and your soul. And, again, also, pardon me, got a verification here of a lot of activity going on. For in the home situation, and getting on with working around the home as well. So it looks really good for Aquarius. Like I said, it's looks easy. There's nothing too heavy. There's nothing too sort of not a lot of major arcana here, which sort of says, like things aren't quite in your control. This is all in your control. You just got to make the right decisions. But fate is giving you a leg up for, like I said, investments and really productive situations for your future. So I hope you enjoyed that, Aquarius, and have a great day. Bye.